had what I think I said it on the call. I had a bit of an epiphany this week. And for a long time I've always been talking about. So this whole game started for me with coaching, and I've always struggled with that term, coach. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. But I've just always struggled with it. And, I was doing the Charles Freeley's 83 Days of the Tao. And so I'm on like day 70, and just from nowhere, I just had this realization that I like reaching a lot of people. And that's going to come out like saying, I like, it's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at the fact that I want to reach more people than 1, 2, or 5. And that's not a ego thing, and that's not a whatever thing. I just want to do that. I don't know the reason. And the epiphany just had me realize. I don't know the reason of why I want to reach that many people. I can tell you what comes to mind. And the reason it's there. I just haven't identified exactly what that reason is. And I did that talk about why I do this work. And it's true, that's why I do this work. And in there lieth part of the reason. And so in that epiphany this week, and I was watching this friend of mine, Sarah Coons, who's the Joyful Warrior. And I've just seen her grow from literally like 4,000 to now probably 12,000. And it's not about the numbers of people, but it's just about the growth, full stop, And for me, I don't know the connection of that, but that was just, it was something which was kind of, it clicked something in me. And I had a conversation with her actually yesterday about it. And there was kind of similarities in terms of the mission and the calling. And so, what is it that I'm saying? I'm saying the coaching thing for me, I finally let go of it. I think because that's what quote unquote brought me into this game. I've always felt some form of loyalty and requirement to attach to the title. And I don't. And obviously there's a combination of, work commitments, family focus, energy, and life. And of which, I need to apologize to you around the becoming your best friend thing, because fuck, dude, with the best of intentions, I just can't do it. And and this is something which I'm going to, regardless of this, I was always just going to send you because there's cash which I owe you for the stuff and also for thingy, but that's not what that's about, but I'm going to give it back anyways. No, I'm going to. And I know there's no worries about it, but I'm going to, full stop. And I don't have and I'll use energy. I don't have the energy for it. And I use energy not in terms of, I don't have any energy. I use energy in terms of focus, in terms of commitment. That's why I use the word energy. And I think also in terms of, I've been listening to this guy, Joe Hudson, and he talks about, procrastination and why people procrastinate, especially when they're doing their own thing, whatever that own thing is, working out, your own business, whatever. And essentially you were saying that if you don't get joy from it, if it's becoming a chore, and basically what he was saying is that in a situation like that where it's just you need to be a good boss. And just in the same way as you don't want to work for another person who's not a good boss, you wouldn't want to work for yourself if you're not a good boss. And if you're always getting onto yourself about, oh my gosh, I didn't do that deadline, I didn't do my to-do list, I didn't do this, oh, I have to go and do this, I have to go. That's not a good boss. And that really kind of hit me, and that's part of the things which kind of got me to this whole epiphany about coaching. And so for me, and again, it's, this whole thing about labels, but for me, it's about communicating. My mom did communications in university, and I think for me, that's the word which kind of resonates. It's communications, it's communicating. And you know what? If I've got something to say that people listen to and resonate with, then great. I think for me, it's I don't know. I'm just going to open my mouth and let whatever God, the universe wants to come out, come out. 100%. I totally love it. Exactly. %. It's about frequency, isn't it? Well, exactly. And the funny thing about it is, today it was actually yesterday, and I think I spoke about it on my live today about kind of what has kind of for me yesterday. And I recorded something this morning. And what I recorded this morning, I was talking about how, the podcast Stories from the Soul has originally been about interviewing people. And I was in the gym yesterday and I was just like, oh, you know what? I really would like to talk about this topic. The topic was boredom. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, okay, what conduit am I going to use to talk about boredom? Am I going to do it on this platform? Am I going to do it there? I'm going to do it there, and I'm going to do it there, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, dude, you've got a container called your podcast, and it doesn't have to be about interviews, it doesn't have to be about anything. And I think this is essentially the thing. It's about labels. Labels kind of constrain and restrict. And ultimately that's kind of, and it's probably not just about the label of coaching. I think it's labels full stop. I can't put a label on what it is that I want to do other than to communicate and be mindful. And, so now that podcast is going to be, there's going to be interviews, but it's also going to be me talking about boredom, about whatever it is. But I really, for me, like, if the thing which has started to resonate a lot more with me is just this thing about becoming your best friend. And it hit me square between the eyes, and crosshairs are so accurate. I've really honed in on this becoming your best friend piece, because ultimately, and again, speaking for self, everything, internal family systems, shadow work, parts work, breathing, whatever it is, for me has all been about my relationship with self. And my ability to, trust the process, trust the universe, but ultimately, it's being able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, today's not great, but this too shall pass. This too shall pass.